Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode on Faith Like Wildflowers podcast. For today's episode, I apologize that it's a little later than most of them have been. For today's episode, we are continuing the Proverbs series and moving on to chapter 13. Let's pray before we start. Dear God, I just thank you for today and for this beautiful weather outside, God, that we can enjoy. And I just pray that you will speak through me, Lord, and give me wisdom to interpret Proverbs 13, Lord, and that you would just help me to not stumble upon any words or to interpret anything the wrong way, Lord, and that, you would just speak through me and speak to me. In your name, amen. Alright, let's get started. A wise son heeds his father's instruction, but a mocker does not respond to rebukes. From the fruit of their lips, people enjoy good things, but the unfaithful have an appetite for violence. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked make themselves a stench and bring shame on themselves. Righteousness guards the person of integrity, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. One person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another person pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. A person's riches may ransom their life, but the poor cannot respond to threatening rebukes. Well, there's a lot in that. So it's talking about how discipline or instruction is good. And when you don't take that, there's no way for you to grow, and there's no way for you to learn from your mistakes, and you're just going to keep falling into them, and you're going to be someone that people won't want to be around. And then it's also talking about being wise with what you're saying. In verse 3 it says, those who guard their lips preserve their lives. So if you're not being careful with what you're saying, you're just going to ruin your life, which it literally says right after that, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. But when you're talking when you're talking slowly, or slow thinking before you talk, then it will be more likely from God, and it will just be, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I hope it's making sense. But it's important to really think about things or pray about things before you speak. It's also important to be diligent, and when you are diligent and persevering, and your walk with God is you're determined with your walk with God, and you're devoted to God. That's the word I'm looking for, devoted. When you're devoted to God, then it says, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Then your desires, obviously, if they are biblical and godly, can be, if they are in God's plan and His timing, can be fulfilled and satisfied. Someone who is walking in integrity and doing what is right even when no one's watching, righteousness guards that person, so that person is just being faithful to God and will be blessed for that. And a person's riches may ransom their life, but the poor cannot respond to threatening rebukes. So I think it's just saying to not hold things so closely and consider yourself rich, because you're actually rich. If Christ is all you have, then you have all you need, and you are rich in that. But when you have all these possessions and you have all this wealth and money and fame, it's really easy to become prideful and make a fool out of yourself and hold yourself higher, and that's not biblical and that's not godly, and that is considered a sin. Oh, there's a bee. Oh, there's two bees attacking each other. Guys, I hate bugs. One's still there. That was scary. Oh! I don't like bees. Anyways, they're gone now. What was I saying? I think I finished my thought with that, hopefully. I don't remember what I was saying. Those bees really scared me. They attacked each other and fell right next to me. Okay, moving on to verse 9. The light of the righteous shines brightly, but the lamp of the wicked is snuffed out. Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. That's good. Wisdom is found in those who take advice. It's important to have mentors or other people speaking into your life who are godly and righteous, and they can give you insight and wisdom, but then also that's showing that you are wise because you are seeking out advice, because we cannot do this in strength alone, on our own strength alone, and we need community with others. And the light of the righteous shines brightly. I just think of how God says I think it's a verse in Matthew somewhere where we're supposed to shine our light bright for Him, and the righteous do that, and it's important for us to be making sure that we're living for Him unashamedly. I don't even know if that's a word, not in shame. And yeah, just living for Him and shining that bright light and leading others to Christ, and making sure that how we're living our life is different from others, so that if someone doesn't know that we're a Christian, they can see that something's different from us. And if people do see that we're a Christian, that we're not a false representation of what Jesus is like, because so many times people turn away from Christianity because of false representations of Jesus. Picking up at verse 11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Oh, that's so good too. When you're gaining money in dishonesty and like stealing it, or I think of like the tax collectors in the Bible, where they would take more money from people than what they actually owed for taxes, and then they would keep the extra money for themselves, and how that gains them nothing, and it's just going to end up being taken away from them, or it's going to ruin their reputation once they're found out about. But whoever gathers money little by little and like works hard for it, it will grow, and God will bless that, and God will use it for His glory as well. But it will just be blessed, and you'll have more than you need then. Verse 12. Hope deferred makes a heart sick, but longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Whoever scorns instruction will pay for it, but whoever respects a command is rewarded. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death. Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to their destruction. All who are prudent act with knowledge, but fools expose their folly. Okay. I don't know what deferred means, and I'm recording on my phone, so I can't look it up. But I'm trying to look at the context to figure out what that means. Hope deferred makes a heart sick. I'm gonna assume it means like hope in the wrong thing. So if you're putting your hope in something other than Jesus, your heart will be sick, or it's just not healthy, it's not good, and you're going to feel defeated, and you're going to feel drained and unfulfilled. But when your longing fulfilled is a tree of life, when you're putting your hope in God, you're going to have more fulfilled hope, and it will feel more, I don't know how to describe it, but like it's so important to be putting your hope in God, because He is a firm foundation. Whoever respects the command is rewarded. Again, talking about whoever follows instruction and commands will be rewarded and blessed, and it's just the better way to go about things. And the teaching of the wise is a fountain of life. Those who are wise and instruct others or teach others bring a fountain of life, or like encourage others and lead them towards God. And they're like feeding those who are thirsty, wanting to learn more about Christ, and when they're sharing their wisdom and knowledge, it's filling up their cups, or filling up their empty stomachs of hunger and thirst. Willow! Hi! Willow. Hi, you want to say hi to the camera? Chuck, go get her. Go get her. Go, Zoe. The barking and growling was my little puppy. And then the louder bark was the one that came and said hi. Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to their destruction. I don't remember where I stopped. I don't know if I read verse 15, so we're just going to pick up at verse 15. Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to their destruction. All who are prudent act with knowledge, but the fools expose their folly. Oh, I read verses 15 and 16 because I recognize verse 16. So yeah, good judgment wins favor. And I think that we even aren't able to judge, though, but like when we ask the Lord for judgment and discernment, he will give that to us and lead us and guide us into our decisions that we're supposed to be making. And so yeah, that will win favor. And then for verse 16, I don't know what prudent means, but fools expose their folly. When we're not walking righteously or with God, we will be exposed, and no sin is hidden, nothing ungodly is hidden, so it will be exposed, and God knows everything and sees everything already anyways. Verse 17, a wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a trustworthy envoy brings healing. Whoever disregards a discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. A longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but fools detest turning from evil. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. I don't remember which one I started at again. Hi. A longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul. I don't really know what that means, but I kind of like it. A longing fulfilled. I guess it's saying like when you're hoping for something or longing for something or wanting something and it's fulfilled, it's sweet to the soul. Which then earlier talked about that happens when we are focused on God and devoted to God. And then I also like walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. You start to act like who you surround yourself with. So if my friend starts saying fire or slay, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of random popular words that people around my age say, then you're going to start saying those words too, just out of hearing it all the time and out of it becoming kind of a habit. And likewise, if someone is walking in wisdom or with God, you will start to kind of walk that way and start to become on fire for God as well. Vice versa, if you are walking with people who are sinful and acting foolish, you will start to act that way as well. So it's important to choose wisely who you surround yourself with daily. Not to say that you shouldn't be hanging out with people who are sinful and foolish, because obviously we're also supposed to spread the gospel, as Jesus calls us to in Matthew 28. And you can't do that if you're only surrounding yourself with people who are already Christians and are already godly. But you should not be surrounding yourself with them all the time, that you might start to act like them. And you must guard your heart, as it says in Proverbs 4, which we talked about already. Verse 21, trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. A good person leaves an inheritance for the children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous, but injustice sweeps it away. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. Did I read this one already? I don't know. Guys, I didn't look at which Proverbs I was supposed to be reading before I started, and now I'm wondering if I read this already. Hopefully not. Trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. A good person leaves inheritance for the children's children. For verse 23, an unplowed field produces food for the poor. I think that's just talking about like not being lazy, and being productive for the Lord. And then again about discipline. Yeah. So that's all I got from Proverbs 13. So don't forget to comment down below what you learned from this and what you got from it. And yeah, I want to hear that as well. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day.